Hey, welcome back, Rotary Swing golfers. I'm your instructor, Chris Tyler, and this week for the tour analysis, we're going to be focusing in on the 2016 Abu Dhabi champion, Rickie Fowler, who just moved himself with this victory into the number 4 position in the world golf ranking. So that's the first time we've seen Rickie move inside the top 5. So congratulations to him for that feat. We're going to be focusing in on lag and the importance of it in the golf swing. So if you've been looking for a solution or a way to start to create more lag in your golf swing so that you can accelerate the golf club the most efficient way possible, you're going to want to pay close attention to today's review. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so as I said in the opener, we're going to be focusing in on lag this week. Lag is obviously a very, very simple way to give yourself a good boost in clubhead speed. It's a very efficient way to give yourself that boost. And we're going to be talking about 2 really key components to this whole process. And that, number 1, we're going to be talking about how to create lag slowly in your golf swing. And number 2, the most common area for amateur golfers that they struggle with is the preservation of lag. So we're going to talk about downswing sequencing and how to preserve lag so that you can start to ramp your clubhead speed up quite a bit. So I encourage you, if you don't have a lot of the stuff in place that we talk about in part 1 of this video, that you pump the brakes and say, okay, I'm going to take full commitment to getting these things down. And you'll see that lag becomes very, very easy to attain by doing things properly early on in the golf swing. All right, guys, so let's not waste any time. Let's get right into section 1 of this video and talk about the slow development process of lag and a couple of checkpoints that you're going to be looking for with your own golf swing. So let's go ahead and get into a takeaway position and talk about the importance of establishing width and rotation. Okay, so into a good takeaway position, okay, you're going to see most tour players look very similar to what Rickie does here. You're going to see a club shaft that's parallel to the ground. You're going to see that we've rotated our body about 45 degrees. And you're going to see that we've shifted about 80 to 85% of our weight into that trail leg. Now, what have we done with the arms at this particular junction of the golf swing? Well, we haven't really done a whole lot. Yeah, they maybe have elevated just a little bit, and they've maybe rotated just a fraction. But really, the body is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And this is where a lot of amateur golfers tend to struggle with, because what they tend to do is to move this club off the golf ball, we can move it pretty quickly with just our wrists and our trail arm. So if you start from this particular junction of the swing and you flexed your right arm and you cocked your wrist and rotated it a little bit, you can see that you could move that golf club a good 6 to 8 to 10 feet without even having to turn your body or even shift your weight. Now, what's the problem with that? Well, number 1, that's actually signaling to your brain that your hands and arms are now becoming your primary power source. And number 2, if you start to load a muscle group up, i.e. the wrists here, if you start to load your wrists up and they're getting to that full contraction point, then they're going to want to turn and fire and go in the other direction. And that's when we start to see amateur golfers tend to throw the club too early, start to burn up all that lag, and then they run out of speed down at the bottom of the arc. So a good checkpoint for you in the takeaway is to make sure that your arms have done very little. You want to make sure that you've established width by shifting your weight and rotating your body. Okay, so now the second checkpoint to help slow develop lag into your swing is going to be this particular position I'm going to show you now. And this is when the hands get to about the center of the chest, or sternum height here. So you can see that the hands are right around the center of the chest. Now notice the position of the club shaft. You can see that it's gone to a more vertical position now, where it was parallel to the ground when the hands were at about pocket height. Now the hands have worked up just a slight amount here. We continue to rotate our body, and we've slowly started to see that angle increase. We don't want to have this angle fully maxed out at this particular junction of the swing, because we still have more rotation available to us. We still have more width available to us because we're going to continue to move our hands and arms further into the golf swing. So your next checkpoint here is, as you slowly start to rotate and your hands get up at about the center of your chest, is you want to make sure your club shaft is about a vertical position, just like you see here on the screen. Then we're going to continue to rotate our body. That angle is going to increase. So you can see the hands are still lifting here. Makes a good wide full turn. And now we're going to talk about the preservation process of lag. So you can see that we've made a good giant full turn with the upper body. We've shifted our weight. We've created some good separation between the shoulder line and the hip line. And now we're going to talk about how to get this golf club moving in the way down without doing much with your hands and arms, just like you did on the way up. Okay, guys, so now that we've talked a little bit about the slow development of lag into the takeaway and backswing, and I've given you a couple of checkpoints to look for, what we really want to focus on in the preservation process is just doing very little with the wrists, the forearms, the arms, and the shoulders and the way down. We want to allow your lower body to do all the heavy lifting. Okay, if you were to focus on shifting and unloading your lower half like you're going to see Rickie do here, Okay, you're going to see a good move from his lead side, starting to pull from his left leg here. He's getting seated into that left leg with lots of his weight shifting over into that side. Now, if you notice here, the hands have come down from the top of the backswing here. So the shoulders and the hands and arms are being pulled down into this position. And notice that the angle that the club shaft is on now that the hands are in the center of the chest. So you can see hands are right in the center of the chest. And as we were looking at it when we were starting to work from a takeaway into the backswing, the club shaft was in a vertical position. So this is where the angle has been able to be increased, and then we're preserving it on the way down by using the lower half. This is where a lot of amateur golfers, like I said, tend to struggle, is that we want to use the right side of the body to push against the club, and in turn that causes us to burn up this angle, and we won't have it to use for leverage at the bottom of the swing arc. So as we continue to allow the lower body to do a lot of the heavy lifting, a little bit of gravity's help pulling the arms down here as well. Now we are in that release point of the swing to where we can start to fire this angle. Hands are approaching in front of the trail thigh. You can see the club shaft is back to a parallel position, and now we can really start to unload this angle and start to extend through the hitting area, widen the swing arc back up, and be at max speed down here at the bottom of the swing arc. So as far as the preservation process is concerned, you want to make sure that your arms are being very, very passive. Allow your lower body to really get unloaded. Once you feel that weight get over into your left side, just like Rickie's doing right here, then it's a matter of you starting to post this up and then start to clear your hips. That's going to move your arms even further down, and then you're going to start to release the golf club, and you'll have tons of speed. Okay guys, so if you're joining us on our YouTube channel, first off I want to say thanks for tuning in to this week's tour analysis. Again, I'm your instructor Chris Tyler, and I want to let you know that some of the videos that I mentioned are definitely located on our website, and I'm going to go ahead and include a video called How to Swing from the Ground Up. It's one of our premium videos on the website. You can actually click the link in the description below this video, or you can wait till the end. I'm going to put up an ending slide here where you can click through, sign up for a free membership. You can watch that video in its entirety from beginning to end, no questions asked. And remember, if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button below. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, feel free to post those up and we'll help you out as best we can. Also, remember to subscribe to our channel. That way you get notifications anytime we put out any of our newest content. Let's get out there and let's play some of our best golf in 2016.
In turn, your shoulders are going to get loaded long before the big muscles do. And so by the time you get here, you've got to fire from the top, and your body, instead of using your legs to be able to shift your weight and so on and so forth in the downswing that you know are good things you want to do, your body just kind of freezes to try and keep you from falling on your face because you're creating all this force going out away from you, and all of a sudden you've got a bad golf swing. How do we fix it? That's the key. So, the most important part of learning RST or any golf